Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the Dreamhack Atlanta Regionals. Yes, this one Europe. The German face-off. Which solid macro player will blast through and which will stop them in their path? Let me introduce the largest Terran player in the world. The biggest plays and an even bigger brain. It comes with the territory. 4 in the top right, the blue. Big Gabe. But if he's an unstoppable force, he meets his German counterpart, the immovable object. Showtime. The Wall. Yes, these matches from the Dreamhack Atlanta Regional. And this cast is brought to you by our sponsor. Hello, Dreamhack. Tune in to Dreamhack Atlanta, the main event, November 18th to 20th, with all your favorite players except for the ones who get knocked out. Thank you to ESL for providing these games and putting on these tournaments, and I hope you tune in later on. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and back to the match. Game 1 is on Tropical Sacrifice. Now, almost every time these two meet, we get a full spread series. Neither of them particularly capable. I like to call this the grown-up version of Clem versus Max Packs, as both these players are just as capable when it comes to micro, though maybe not on multiple fronts simultaneously, but they're just a lot more patient in the macro sense. The kids' table is Clem and Max Packs just shivving each other constantly. Proxies everywhere, not even thinking about expanding before murdering half a dozen of your opponent's workers. Whereas HeroMarine and Showtime, not even a single probe will be killed despite getting caught in the base, because Showtime recalls it. Out of vision, HeroMarine knows what happened. But so far, not a single kill, just scouting information across the board. And that's what we can expect to see. Those incredibly safe plays. What? You don't get nicknamed the Wall because of your penchant for reckless aggression. Unless it's one of those, like, ironic nicknames. Of course, you don't get nicknamed Big Gabe, except for your gargantuan size. Everybody knows the Germans don't have a sense of humor. They can't take a joke, and if they did, they'd bring it to Big Gabe to handle. Speaking of handling, the Reaper, still 0 kills. A second Reaper's added on with the double gas opener. And, well, 2 Reapers can technically kill an Adept. Testing the waters for now, but they will heal. No permanent damage to anyone yet. The Reapers will heal. The Adepts will re-shield. A shield battery is already gracing the field, and a Stargate with an Oracle to bring the Reapers to heal. The Hellion gets in, and we'll see what it seals. And the Reapers at the natural. First blood, they will kill. No, stop! And the Hellion stopped. 1 probe, 1 Hellion. The Hellion got the scout, and so did the Reapers of exactly what's going to happen. The Oracle staying back at home, going to cover for the 3rd. As opposed to getting sent across the map. HeroMarine already has the Cyclone on the way. Now that we've settled down a bit, you've made it this far. You can stand the sound of my voice at least this long, unless you just came back. Make sure to recommend, if you happen to check out some of the regional matches, make sure to recommend. I've already got some lined up over the next couple weeks until the main event. But I'm always open to input. I do read those comments, and I do appreciate those recommendations as well. We do have the finals pretty much of each region, and then a few choice matches, including, I'm very excited, probably the highest level match, Nice versus Has. Once again, they faced off not once, but twice in the winner's bracket and the finals, so we'll save that for a special day. There's plenty of great macro matches, and then there's Nice versus Has, which is, you know, something a little different. Reaper actually manages to get a kill. That shield battery perfectly placed to not deny any mining. Unfortunately, the oracles also are. There's a Widow Mine in there. Does he know about it? He does now. Oh my god. Okay, come on, Showtime. Showtime over here skirting the Widow Mine. He does have recall. And I think he's gonna, yep, slides into the recall, maintaining that momentum. I like how he's using the recall as a utility tool. He used it on the probe. He's getting the oracles out. At this stage of the game, he recognizes the most dangerous possible thing is an early game tank push. But, since HeroMarine, Showtime sees this, he saw no reactor on the starport. He saw another Rax finishing. He saw Tech Lamb. Right now, HeroMarine at best is going to have a half-hearted tank push. Later on, he's going to have that triple threat. You got your Stim Combat Shield +1. I said +1, HeroMarine. Give it a second. 1, 0, +1, starts. +1. All right. Meanwhile, Showtime. Robotics Bay. Phoenixes. And the summary is, he recognizes the lack of aggression. He recognizes that HeroMarine's going to be waiting for those medevacs, the triple threat. But he also recognizes his oracle's dying. That was a great pick-off there. Getting both would be amazing and really limit the vision, as Revelation is a huge part of staying safe and not risking observers. As robo time, just production time in the robotics facility, is probably one of the more important things for Showtime to be worried about here. And here we go. We got Stim, Combat Shield, +1. A little on the later side, not to judge. But HeroMarine with a real army. Oh, wow. I can't... He hid the stasis a little behind the vision blocker. And that, getting a tank and... Yeah, that hamstrings this push. Those units won't die, but are there enough to actually hold this position right now? He's gonna let... Gets a tag, sees everything with Revelation. Charge is done. It just completed, so the timings are super thin right now. Widow Mines are gonna connect. Decent damage here against the charge lots. A few more charge lots come in from the back, and suddenly Showtime, his shield stripped away, his charge lots whittled down. There's only a single shield battery. Well, I take it back. He's got the one in the back set up so that way he doesn't corner his own units against the Nexus. Shield battery overcharged on the back base. There's a Colossus on the way. 5 Widow Mines with this, though. I feel like the Phoenixes are going to turn into a Widow Mine target and try to drag those into the army. Here come the Phoenixes flying over the top, trying to drag the mines, the direct hit. All the mines exhausted. Colossus is here. The wall bends, but does he break? Even the Oracle getting in on the action. And guess what? HeroMarine thrown back. The Nexus at half HP. It was reshielded. The Colossus comes out, the backbone of the defense, and helps make the difference. HeroMarine not quite able to make headway on that third. Oh, that was very close, though. A few units either way. Without the stasis ward slowing it down, without the well-placed shield battery and overcharge timing, I think that base is gone. And still a dangerous push, but HeroMarine behind this doesn't have his third command center done. He's only on 47 SCVs. Showtime's got 69 probes. What a nice position to be in. Extended Thermal Lance is about to complete. HeroMarine threatening. I do appreciate how Showtime didn't go for the Reaper wall, because it definitely would have been a vulnerability at this stage of the match. Instead, he's walled off. He's got that pylon efficiency and necessary infrastructure safety. That's so important. The pen is rating is something you try to maximize, even against someone like HeroMarine. And now this is, while a dangerous army, pretty much the only thing HeroMarine can field right now. He has to keep Showtime back. He has to be very wary of charge lock counterattacks, because Showtime has the economy right now. One glaring thing Showtime does not have is upgrades. He's at 0-0. Does he have a forge? He doesn't even have a forge. He's relying entirely on this unit composition. Now, HeroMarine doesn't have a ton himself. He doesn't have an armory. He's only got +1. Melee attack. Not melee. Infantry attack. Those SCVs gonna do a lot of damage. Emotionally, mostly. But the Widow Mine picked up the Marines, actually try to grab the Phoenixes. The third command center is done. Archon's on the way, and Showtime not pressing the issue. He is not a hasty player. Big Gabe, on the other hand, at 95 army supply, he still very much can win a fight on the field, especially with 1-1 against 0-0. How many feet? There are 7 Vikings. There are 6 Vikings. There are Phoenixes, though. Doing some damage. May pick off 1, 2 of the medevacs. Not quite. They just need to buffer for the Colossi here. HeroMarine on the high ground. A lot of charge lots. 1 or 2 Widow Mines underneath will help to soften this up, and the Archons will soak a ton of damage. Phoenix is microing back. It's really rough for HeroMarine to get down this ramp. But if caught out of position, then Showtime's army relatively fragile. The Vikings microing back. The Marauders eating the brunt of the extended thermal lances. Phoenix is almost exhausted, and then the Vikings were able to work on the Colossi. The command center is lifted. The boys are pulled, wishing he had melee attack. Phoenix is targeting down Colossi. And he's kind of splitting the damage. Gets 1. The Bio army grinding through the Gateway army down to a single Colossus. The splash damage will be limited. Micro's back. Showtime. Meanwhile, HeroMarine blasts out the Colossus. He holds the line. The Vikings are enough. The boys made the difference, and HeroMarine will hold. But at what cost? The high ground is where he made his stand, and he dove his way down. But Showtime, he still has 77 workers. He's got disruptors on the way, and a single disruptor hit is could make all the difference in this low economy game. HeroMarine stimming forward. The disruptor is out. The shot. This is everything. The target. He doesn't get it. No overcharge. And HeroMarine is stimming through. Oh my. Showtime. It looked like a game-winning army. But with the lack of upgrades, I feel like Showtime, he felt a bit obligated to get damage done, surprisingly. He felt like he had the army to push forward. 170-something supply. Sure, why not? But HeroMarine pulling the boys and standing his ground. Even lifting the orbital to pull the boys quicker. That was a decisive play by Big Gabe. Deserving of his title. That took some big things in many important places to pull off. And that means we're going to game 2 with HeroMarine up 1. Can't believe he lifted the CC to pull the boys. Oh my god. I think halfway through that fight, both players were confident in Showtime's victory. But the medevac count... So here's the key. A lot of players don't really account for the medevac healing. What HeroMarine, by pulling the boys and just standing his ground, the medevacs were keeping the Marauders alive on the high ground, while the SCVs ate a lot of the Archon hits. So he was healing through a ton of the Colossus damage, while simultaneously negating the other splash damage. And Stalkers and Zealots, with a 2 upgrade disadvantage, don't really do anything. So while there was a lot of splash damage, he had kind of dealt with both versions, and that ended up being enough. What are you doing here? Probe. Pretty early. The SCV mildly annoyed. Oh no, I still got you up. Okay. Let me... Sir? Sir? Do you have a moment to speak? Sir! Do you have a moment to speak about our Lord and Savior Tassadar? Sir! Don't walk away. Kids these days. I've been alive since before the Terrans went to the stars. I remember when they buried the Spear of Adun. Nobody listens to me, though, because I'm just a probe. They pretend Carrick's knows what he's doing. I actually know. Screw those guys. Nobody ever asks the probes anything. They say, go build a pylon there. I build a pylon. They say that's my purpose. Well, I want to see the world. I want to scout for hidden factories. I want to scout for a starport. So I will. I don't care if it means I die. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of it. A Reaper heading in towards the natural. Adept moves to join it. And the probe. No, kill me! My programming won't allow me to die. Probe builds Robo. Second gate. Do we already have the Twilight? Yep. 2-gate blank? Yeah. One of the more macro-oriented openers. Not opting for the Stargate this game. I thought the Stargate and Blink are about half and half right now. 40% Stargate, 40% Blink in this matchup. And the other 20% some other crazy stuff, like proxy gates or occasionally a robo opener. But this covers the spread here. And if Showtime is doing it, it is the standard. That is a good general. If either of these players, these are 2 out of the 3 players I most recommend. If you want to learn how to play StarCraft. Neither of them relies on particularly tricky micro or like crazy builds. They are the standard. I think partially because both of them, especially Big Gabe, stream all the time while playing the very top of the ladder, sometimes against each other. So at some point, I know this from experience, like you can't just be doing like crazy proxies every game. You just got to be solid and standard. Does annoy me they both do better commentary in their second language of English while playing at several thousand more MMR than me, but still. That's neither here nor there. If you're watching me, you're probably a bit of a degenerate and not able to catch their streams live, so on the bright side. Until Big Gabe just starts casting his ladder games on YouTube, I think I still have something. Don't give him ideas. Oh, War Prism is out. Reaper Hunt. Oh my. Wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's actually taking down. He's actually taking down the. He's thinking about taking down the rock wall, the mineral wall. Rocks are killable, where minerals can only be mined. An important distinction. So, if he actually takes that down, that removes a lot of the advantage for the Blank Stalkers, potentially. But also opens up an opportunity later on for charge mods. So we'll see if HeroMarine continues to mine that location. Meanwhile, Showtime, with the most conservative possible option, he gets 1 depot while he's taking a third back at home. Slurps up a few stalkers. Robotics Bay. Once again, going to be a heavy tech opener, if a bit of a different way of getting there. Okay, he's going to actually open this up. 40 minerals is 8 trips apiece. Maybe a couple for the mules. Thinking about, well, this is certainly an interesting fight. We have the War Prism under fire from a single Viking. It should be able to outrange it safely enough. He's protecting the mineral wall. We're going to fight. We're just going to yell at each other over the chest-high fence here. That is the mineral wall. Of course, you can only teleport or fly past until HeroMarine opens up the conversation. Links in. Oh, he's actually going to keep him from opening it. I don't know if that's... Well, that SCV getting repaired. It's going to finish mining in the Marine. This is one of the weirdest mini fights. I've never quite seen this. I guess Showtime doesn't want to let HeroMarine open up another attack now. But at the same time, it isn't necessarily bad for him. Of course, you don't want to let HeroMarine. If he wants to do it, you want to stop him. That's half of StarCraft. But yeah, well, those charge lots aren't going to be coming in anytime soon. He's trying to avoid this tank push. 4 tanks, and he can juggle them into Showtime's base via the medevac. All right, scan. There's nothing behind it. Okay, get some Marines. I'm pretty sure the observer saw that. There's an observer behind the army. That's a lot of units right now. Charge is done. Showtime has nothing in the main right now. He's chasing the whole army. Has he figured out that there's a missing medevac? Well, he's crushing the attack, partially because of those missing units. Recalls immediately to the main. A few probes are going to go down. Remember, Blink is done, but only a single Stalker means that the medevac should be fine. HeroMarine divided his army, and it was conquered. A bit of an optimistic split of units there. Charge finishes. Colossus in Showtime finds himself in a very similar position to the previous match. He's got more bases. He's got a lot of his tech online. But some key differences. He's taking a 4th before HeroMarine's even thinking about a 3rd. He's already got +1 finished. Both of those things, even though he actually cut a few probes. He lost a few probes. How many probes? Wait, 11 probes? Where did the rest go? Okay, I'm pretending like I know where he lost like 5 more probes from, unless it was that Marine drop and he just targeted more. Okay, well, Showtime had a lot more probes and he lost them, but then he prioritized production, which allows us, it brings us, we're up to date. Okay, we're back up to date. Another attempt. The first drop definitely forced a recall. Anything to tie units back at home. It is still a very awkward spot for HeroMarine. Does he even know about the 4th? He doesn't. This makes it a lot worse. At this point, he can't allow that 4th to mine, and he doesn't even know it exists. Because Showtime is going up 6 gates. He's going to 8. Surprised he doesn't have a second robo yet. So his production actually not going to be able to keep up with his income soon. Of course, I don't know if that soon is going to matter very much because the boys are on the way. Unfortunately, there are sentries with this army, a disruptor. HeroMarine. The boys won the day last time, but I have a lukewarm feeling about their potential success this time. There's a couple danger balls on the field. Great force fields to start. Disruptor shot. Forces the split out. Vikings chasing. More of the boys. Eating damage here. 1 Colossus down. No more shots from disruptors yet. He's got 1 more. Chrono boosting. I don't know what he's chrono boosting right now, but the chase is on. There should still be 1 disruptor shot in reserve. The Vikings taking out the shields of another Colossus. Oh, curveball. Most of the boys have been slaughtered. Chasing the army down. There's not that much that can deal with the SCVs outside of the Colossi. The disruptors are wandering forward. There is a shield battery overcharge. That could be a huge part of his. Fires a volley. Moves forward, not enough. It's just not enough. There's 1-1 done. Showtime halts. He's backed up to his base. HeroMarine gambles it on the SCVs. But this time around, no. It ain't happening. Big Gabe gonna have to go back to the drawing room and come up with something new. Showtime had his number. The Blink Stalkers are much better for keeping a hold on a location than a Stargate opener. They struggle more at mobility, I guess, than air units, but the Blink Stalkers there just aggressively keeping tabs on HeroMarine's army and just kind of boxing him into an awkward build. Game 3 of your Dreamhack Atlanta regional qualifier. Like, subscribe, and check out the main event, November 18th to 20th. Moondance. I'm interested to see. Well, we'll get at least 2 more games now. Maybe we'll be able to determine which map each player vetoed by the end. Showtime living up... Well, both players are playing very much. They're playing very well. I was going to say very much well. But I thought that would have sounded dumb, so I'll just say they're playing very much goodly. Either game could have gone either way, though HeroMarine is kind of locking himself in to these lower tech compositions. And by lower tech, I mean no ghosts. That's what I mean. Like, let us make no mistake. No illusions. I mean, he's not teching up to ghosts and playing that later game. He's trying to end it, or at least get way ahead before it becomes arguably necessary. Showtime, on the other hand, is trying to roll with the punches until he can punch back. So I think as time goes on, this favors Showtime a little more, as you kind of get a bead on what HeroMarine wants to do. The thing is, he is one warping away from dying in a lot of these fights. He is towing that line. Like, he's one Colossus leg on the right side of it, at best. But the Reaper kills the probe. Finally! Finally, death takes me. And that means a small moral victory here for HeroMarine, who has yet to be able to kill that first scouting probe, despite even trapping it in his base before. Is that a Stalker first? HeroMarine not going to risk it. It is a Reaper wall, which... not my favorite thing, alright? Back to the list of peeves that I would consider pets. It's up there. But I trust Showtime. Okay, if he says you Reaper wall on Moondance, well then you Reaper wall on Moondance. Another key part about Moondance is how far away the Reaper jump location is from the natural. The amount of time to move units back and forth on some maps, it is essentially 2-3 seconds away, but this is a solid 6 or 7 seconds of Reapers potentially killing your probes. Alright, HeroMarine up in there, giving them the business. Kills a Stalker with Reaper Hellion. Leaves. No further questions. Some further questions, I guess. Loses a Reaper because of it. Told you not to ask any more questions. Losing that second Reaper means there's no more potential to really kill probes as well. It's the little things in these matches. They add up very quickly. That single Reaper is not... It can scout maybe, but it's not a real threat. 2 Reapers kill probes quite quickly. And they can very technically kill a Adept, but don't try that. Oh. Widowmine drop. Actually, is it the first time we've seen this series? Yeah, I believe so. HeroMarine with these heavy gas openers. Usually the Widowmine drop is a bit lighter on the gas. That's why you go for it, in order to get your racks up more quickly. Showtime actually taking the third on the outside, not going for the pocket base. Reaper, the most obvious distraction I've ever seen. He saw the medevac. Like... yeah, Showtime, he warps in new Stalkers to deal with it instead of moving the Stalkers. Hey, the Reaper comes in, look at me! Look at me! Yeah, maybe that was that last game. He did a Widowmine drop and I completely missed it. Well, obviously it didn't do enough. The bunker is a little tucked in here. Is there a tank? No. Is there blank? Yes. Am I just going to ask yes or no questions? Maybe. The observer, keeping an eye on the medevac from a comfortable distance. Medevac understands that it's probably never going home, but will continue to be annoying for as long as possible. The first Widow Mine got completely shut down. Raven with energy for 2 auto turrets. Uses one. Stalker still... Wait, where did the medevac go? It's gone. Another auto turret. Target firing probes. And, oh my. It worked! I mean... Oh, he didn't actually fire it, and now he may just lose. Oh my. Okay. Well... The medevac did slip away. The big brain, you know what, if we're gonna give Showtime too much credit. Oh, well that's awkward. Yeah, there are units in there, a lot of units. He intentionally didn't kill the medevac because he knew he'd drop and probably lose it. 4 stalkers are not gonna kill what's in these medevacs. Or, oh, no, hey. See ya. See you in the next shift. Medevac comes back with nothing inside. No comment. The double medevac drop heading for the main. It's just Showtime doesn't quite have enough units to comfortably chase it down and also defend in case it gets by. Storm is on the way. There is no forge. I don't believe. Yeah, no forge. There's no upgrades. He's entirely reliant on this spell. The Reaper Wall! The Reaper Wall, you kind of need that Cyber Core. I'm just saying. The Reaper Wall, a liability. And now a bunch of the Storm! Storm! He kills some of these units. Is there any more energy on the Templar? Ooh. Snaps up a medevac here. The Raven coming in. Killing a handful of probes. Showtime is at 8 gates. Still no forge. Only +1 for HeroMarine. Neither of these players really are going to be focused on upgrades. The amount of damage you can deal with spellcasters, just outright, and Widow Mines definitely counted in that. EMP. Upgrades don't matter much until you get down to the massive charge lot versus biofights, really. Storm, you don't reduce any damage by having the armor upgrade. Disruptors one-shot pretty much any Terran unit that doesn't cost more than 3 supply. EMP doesn't care how many armor upgrades you have. So neither of these players, even HeroMarine with +1 attack, eventually gets +1 armor. +1 ground weapons for Showtime, finally finding some space. As HeroMarine's attack was thrown back, the storms landed hard enough. But I think there are more on the horizon. Divide and conquer. That'll be the intended strat yet again. Showtime pretty light on the vision. He knows the map is dark and full of Terrans, but he doesn't exactly know where those Terrans are. That's the point. And that means the main base had a lot of stalkers here, but the bio-army that unloads is still going to be kind of difficult to deal with. The Widow Mine's going to fire at point blank. HeroMarine shut down on the southern flank, and in the north, the stalkers are able to whittle away the drop. Showtime holds on both sides. Auto turret comes in. The Raven, at first, not finding much, but 4 kills, a lot of mining time lost, actually matters at this stage when the worker counts are so close. There is a full prism of Templar. Or I can only imagine have 1, maybe 2 storms at this stage. Ghosts on the way, everybody dropping out, preparing for battle. A Widow Mine, just hanging out, killing a stalker every now and again. +1 ground weapons is not yet complete for Showtime. So he is at a disadvantage. 2 upgrade disadvantage, but enhanced shockwaves are completed. Does he have any ghosts, though? He has 2. Where are they? I'm not sure at this point. I know where the Templar are. The storms are all over the army. The medevac's boosting in. A little bit late, the ghosts. Where's the anti-air? He warps in charge lots in the middle of the fight. The boys are pulled. A lot of the Marines stepping back to try to keep it together. A single storm. HeroMarine loses a lot in this fight. There's 1 more storm. He gets it as the bunker falls. but without any more splash damage and still some medevacs intact. That fight didn't... An anti-armor missile out of nowhere. Could have used that like 20 seconds ago, but manages to get the Raven back, kills an observer, and we come out of this even. It looked like Showtime was winning the fight because of those beautiful storms, but no. At the end of the day, HeroMarine maintained most of his key units. It was some SCVs, it was some Marines and Marauders, but overall he's lost 4 medevacs, he's lost no ghosts, he still has the Raven. Meanwhile, Showtime lost 5 Templar and the Prism. And also his worker count is not overwhelming, like he doesn't have that sort of income. In fact, look right now, he slid down the Peaks of Plenty all the way into the Chasm of Mules. And right now, that canyon is beginning to widen. As HeroMarine takes full advantage, he's getting a 4th command center at the back. The gateway count is at 8. Overall, I prefer HeroMarine's position, as awkward as it is to fight against the double splash damage army, which is coming together now. With the enhanced Shockwaves Ghost and 2-2 on the way, I would much rather be taking heads-up fights as HeroMarine as we get towards 200 supply. A charge Prism, working its way towards the back. HeroMarine has no defense against it. And these are the kind of things that can undo. Yeah, Showtime is sick of getting surprised. Look what he's done with the place. That's his vision. He is not dealing with this anymore. Observer. Yeah, the charge lot's in the back, delay the base. Charge lot, pylon, charge lot. He's gonna know what's happening almost the second it does. The charge lot's buying a little space and time. HeroMarine moving out with 2-2, finishing up. Widowmine at what could be Showtime's 5th, continuing to delay it as he hasn't really found the time or the APM to deal with it. But Showtime knows there's an army down there, and that Disruptor shot. HeroMarine reacts. There's plenty of time. Disruptor's revealed. Those Templar might need to spread out here as the Ghosts. Ooh, looking for feedback. It gets the feedback first. EMP lands. The Templar still have the energy. Raven with the army. HeroMarine's kept the Raven together. This is the hardest part of the game for a Terran player. He doesn't have a super stable economy. If he loses a fight, he loses a base. He doesn't have Liberators. He doesn't have an overwhelming amount of Ghosts. And there are a lot of units that could die very quickly here. But at the same time, it's all true for Showtime. The drop heads towards the main. And will there be the Templar, the splash damage to respond? Will he pre-MP the Nexus? Here are the Templar. The storms will land. A lot of the medevacs with units in them. Oh, a Disruptor shot to the south. And did HeroMarine just pull a beyond? He may have loaded up about half of his supply to the medevacs, and half of that ain't coming home. Still some Widow Mines cutting into the probe count. Showtime down to 60 probes, which means his army supply right now is quite overwhelming. -1 Archon. That Ghost. Alright then. Oh, why that? Yep, that happened. I almost forced a shot into his Templar. Ooh, Widowmine. Doesn't hit anything too critical. But HeroMarine tried to dive into the main and he lost a hand for it. Scan spots a lot of Disruptor balls. My eyes spot exactly 0 Liberators with this army. No Colossi for guaranteed splash, but that's a lot to dodge, and he's on the defense right now. He doesn't have that much space to retreat to. It's not like he's attacking the other side of the map. He can just force it back. Exploratory Raptors. Ooh, good shot to start. Great concave, though, for HeroMarine. Gonna give Showtime some pause. A full energy Raven. Storms used. A volley of Raptors. Targets down a couple. HeroMarine bleeding out units. Some charge lots and Templar off to the side here. Dorito dusting, anti-armor missile. Giving Showtime a little hesitation, but he's being real careful with it after what's happened so far in this series. The Disruptors are pumping up another anti-armor missile. Clips the edge of the army. Oh, the Disruptors, he gets both. Great targeting. EMP off the mark. Storms. That shot didn't miss. Another storm. The splash damage, a tsunami over HeroMarine's army. More storms. Vikings on deck. The upgrades are great, but the Disruptors don't care. More EMPs. Another storm. Stalkers getting chased back. And somehow, some way, at the end of the day, HeroMarine manages to hold. But at what cost? The medevac still intact. It's Ghost Marauder with whatever Marines just popped out into a world wondering why there are no Marines. Showtime carving away chunks of the army. He's killed 13 Ghosts. He killed the Raven. He killed the Vikings. And he's left HeroMarine without too much. He's finishing up +2 armor as well on his units, making it that much harder. There's quite an upgrade advantage that last fight, which is why HeroMarine... Wow, how many? He's got 9 medevacs still. If only he had the units to heal. Now, the army supply... The planetary is about to finish. HeroMarine setting up like a 360 degree. The 3 MPs. In fact, he didn't have detection with the army, and suddenly here comes HeroMarine. 1 Colossus down. Medevacs on the left flank. EMPs. EMPs. No more storm. Knocks over the Colossus. Showtime thought he was safe, but the Terran army closed in from 3 out of 4 angles. Showtime retreats to the last one, but he takes huge losses on the way out. The EMPs hit all of the Templar. The Disruptors are misclicked into firing in their own base out of frustration. And unfortunately, that was the only Disruptor with the fight. Awkwardly here. Jimmy, to the game. Another one pops out. Oh, EMP is over the top. The Marauder is with the same range as the Stalkers and easily able to dispatch them. Vikings involved. More EMPs. This is such an awkward angle for Showtime to fight now. The Vikings can fire over the top. EMP outranges, well, pretty much everything. Charge lots. A charge lot counterattack is going to kill a chunk of SCVs, but HeroMarine is maxed otherwise. This will pull him back a bit. His army is less committed. Shield battery overcharged. Disruptor shots. He dodges through one. The EMPs, or the Ghosts on the other, eating those hits, but the Colossi are knocked down. Still more Disruptors, more Templar, more Storm. Vikings hit the deck. EMP is not enough to stop all this. Oh, the medevac's still intact. Showtime holds the high ground for now. A costly fight, but no decisive victor. Without Liberators, it is going to be tough for HeroMarine to actually force a fight. He can play defensively, but it's hard to get a surround on someone who's holding the top of a ramp. 4 more medevacs in production, which really defines how HeroMarine wants to play this game. Please give HeroMarine back the controller. Beyond. How did you get here? Alright. You know you're in Germany, right? Well, army diving up. HeroMarine caught out of position. He decided to drop in this kind of awkward location. He's scrambling now. Disruptors chasing him behind his own mineral line. But don't let this fool you. The supply lead does go to big game. Another charge lock counterattack. A few units, reinforcements dealing with it. Marauders, Marines, and medevacs are the order of the day. As long as he has enough ghosts to coat those Archons with a few EMPs. And, another EMP. There's 1 or 2 storms left. 1 storm. He uses it. The medevacs, I don't know if a single unit died. Same with that Disruptor. Gets nothing. And suddenly Showtime's army gliding backwards in a panic. Oh, he fades the shot in from long range. It connects. Charge lots. Anything to keep HeroMarine busy. And honestly, he's going to force the lift on this base. HeroMarine forced to come back, and Showtime does have vision. There's a ghost chasing a Templar here. Oh, the storm lands! He storms his own observer to death. A volley. Disruptors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that enough? He fired all his shots. Any Terran unit survived, which means Showtime has to retreat. But, meanwhile, the charge lot's getting damage done. The medevacs now outnumbering the units they have left to heal. The sheer number of disruptors was leaving less area of the field safe than it was dangerous. He fired the full volley, which didn't quite end it. But it's damn close. He's making 3 more medevacs. I don't know, like, I'm not an expert. Both these players could beat me with one of their hands tied behind their back and the other one flipping me off, but I don't know if 12 medevacs is the play at this stage. Especially with only 20-something units on the ground. He definitely could start Liberator production, but HeroMarine is locked into the M&M. Sometimes it's just, you kind of revert to your default. And Showtime, one of the first strats he really liked in Legacy of the Void was this Blank Stalker Disruptor play. Disruptors and Ghosts have both been through a array of changes, but the main style still stands. Showtime is maxed out. HeroMarine is pushed up against his own planetary. The Disruptors are getting dangerously close. A single medevac is boosting in. Disruptor shots to clear the SCV storms. There's no more map left to run. But at the same time, the planetary's holding. More Disruptor shots. Micro's back. Break split. Planetary down. Bunch of charge lots warped in. May turn all the tides, though. The boys are pulled. Storm. Medevacs keeping things intact. Disruptors recharging. Not quite quick enough. SCV's taking the damage. Disruptors getting in front of the fight. One at the back. He micros away. Kills several Marauders. Those Marauders may break the back of HeroMarine's defense, but no! He holds 22 SCVs down. That was the cost of this defense, but Showtime is unable to break through. Even with the Disruptors, even with the Storm, HeroMarine and the sheer number of medevacs. Maybe that is the way. There's no more splash damage I can see here. What's in there? He's got 2 Disruptors. The charge lots are closing the distance. They have +1 shields on top of maxed out upgrades. And HeroMarine, he's pre-dropping mules before he types out the GG. As he kind of evaluates the situation and realizes there's essentially nothing left. Just full gas right up until he hits the wall. HeroMarine trying to break through, losing 100 Marauders, 32 Ghosts. Showtime actually lost slightly more. He lost 2,000 more gas in those fights, but he managed to secure several more bases. Neither player with money in the bank, but Showtime clearly had the better economy and ability to rebuild. Oh. Showtime 2-1. But we're by no means done. Data C is map 4. Showtime has played several games of the year on this map, unironically, in my opinion. Then again, Showtime is essentially the source of about 6 out of 7 games of the year, so he has a he doesn't die. He doesn't die easy. But also, he's just not quite as good on the attack. And that is what makes for such dramatic games. Despite his name one of the scrappiest players, able to pull together a defense with like a few bobby pins, some elbow grease, and a strong glare. The probe sent out quite early. HeroMarine. Double gas yet again. I guess this Maru has been doing it. Big Gabe. Beyond. I believe this we're witnessing. And at this stage of StarCraft 2, it takes many months before we can define something as a new meta. We don't like to be hasty about it after a dozen years. But I think this is the new standard. Is more of a TVP tech-heavy opener. Especially at the higher level. Where players, can micro Reapers and Hellions. The simple version is, as a Terran player, it feels like a lot of Protoss units can bully you early on. So, the best counter to someone who wants to bully you is to bully them first. And Protoss players know. Early Reaper, even a single Hellion, can be a disproportionately large thorn in your side. Even if you're a little out of position for a Widowmine drop. Maybe even the occasional Cloak Banshee. Suddenly, things get out of control quickly. Especially if you're not able to get that third base. What? Did he just call his bluff? HeroMarine didn't even check. He didn't even look. Doesn't care. Showtime recalled. He technically could have stayed at the base without HeroMarine went with the Reaper. But no reason to bother. He's got 5 out of 3 in gas, but I think he's just keeping the potential natural mining probes safe from the Reaper. There is an argument to be made about the efficiency as Protoss, since you don't need to have multiple units building buildings, multiple workers. We're going to play Ring Around the Nexus. Somehow, the Reaper shoots through the Nexus. Nexus, one of the most porous of main bases. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people would think the hatchery is the most porous. And that is true. That is accurate. But the Nexus is second most. So if that ever comes up on a pop quiz in your science class where you do science things, you'll now know the answer. You're welcome. Just make sure to subscribe and say, Winter, thank you. You're a science man who says important. Oracle on the way. Stargate is the choice on day to see. I'm back to basics. Come on, give me the grenade. Nope, super dead. Super dead. There he goes. Didn't even try. The Widowmine in a classic Widowmine location, which is the middle of nowhere, which is the perfect location to snipe the Oracle. God, that's the worst. That is the worst. Oh my god. Oh, that feels so bad. Like, what do you have to do? You have to stare at the Oracle for every second it goes across the map, praying? Yes, is the answer. This was the meta for like all of, I think, 2018, when almost every single game was Widowmine drop versus Oracle opener. Even more than today, was at some point Terran players started hiding the Widowmines on the other side of the map. Which, it got a little ridiculous. Which eventually was the rise of just going blink, because, well then, the random Widowmines don't do nearly as much. A shield battery at the front and another zoning battery. Showtime recognizes the situation, even if he's in kind of a rough spot to deal with it. Gets rid of the full health Widowmine. The Revelation spots the drop, but he's really working the angles here. The cliff means that the Stalkers have to walk around. They don't get their own personal chauffeur. Oh. Ooh. Oracle's on the other side. Confident there's not going to be a Widowmine over here. Correct about it. There's a tech lab on the factory. Now, when he saw the Cyclone, he probably knew he could hedge his bets on this. Actually gonna go in for more kills. Does he get out with both? Wow. Really trying to make up for that lost Oracle is Showtime. And doing a great job of it, too. Like, that was a lot of damage. Ugh. Unfortunately, though, the Viking on the chase. Oh, and whoa, no, no, no. No, you thought you were safe, you sneaky, slippery oracles. Not today. How's this for a revelation? You know, maybe that medevac shouldn't have all the Marines in it. I'm not sure, but he drops them out. He agrees. Okay. Is there blink? No. Oh, this is a very dangerous attack. With Vikings on the ground, Vikings actually do additional damage to those Stalkers and technically probes. The Stalkers are just not a great counter. Shield battery overcharge. Kind of far range. That tank, the Viking tank push, is a bare bones attack. Does he even have the range to pat that Nexus on the back? I don't think he does. And he's actually going to take the base. Oh my. Wow. HeroMarine, between killing the Oracles and this, man, that's so much damage on the Stalkers. The Vikings adding so much. Usually not known for their ground DPS, but this is the ideal use case. Non-blink Stalkers in relatively low numbers. Showtime still has a lot of workers. Ooh, HeroMarine manages to get that tank into a safer spot just in time. The tank is the backbone of all this. The Immortal is out, which the Vikings also do extra damage to, but is the backbone. He needs to hold this. He can't lose another third. You gotta pick a fight. Charge is done. We go for the medevac, he does. The Phoenix can pick up the tank, he does. And Showtime. He bought so much time. The stim is done, the Immortal dies. And a few charge lots will chase. The Viking, that was optimistic. Showtime holds. By the skin of his non-existent Protoss teeth. And he still has 65 probes. This is a hugely key part. He did not lose the probes with the base. He also killed the Vikings and the medevac. So he kind of reset the army. Oh no. Oh god. Well, this is weird. Well, we're gonna play a little whack-a-mole here. Whoop. Whoop. Yep, it's still going. He's just distracting us. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? No. No, 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 no! He was distracting with the main army. Oh, and now, instead of a lead, Showtime is 4 probes down. There is no blink. A recall towards the main, but that leaves the third base vulnerable. And I don't know if that's enough units to win the fight. Well, if he loses a medevac, just drops on top of all this. HeroMarine tearing him apart right now, and this is why you usually don't expand to this location. It's just so vulnerable. Trying to drag the mine hit, that's about as good as he could have got. It doesn't matter, because we, the people, are getting as good as we could get. 5 games. HeroMarine ties it up. Oh, wow. Indeed. Inside and out, which means Cosmic Sapphire, and there's one more. Well, Waterfall. I believe Showtime vetoed Waterfall, and HeroMarine likely vetoed Cosmic Sapphire. Now, one more time. In the top right, we have Showtime, the Wall, and his German counterpart, and even match. in this Dreamhack Masters Atlanta Regional. Big Gabe. All tied up. And there, I don't think you can... I have no prediction for this. Usually you can kind of tell which way the wind's blowing. Who's favored, who obviously has momentum. We're just back and forth. Any of these games with a single warp in, an EMP, a drop, a disruptor shot, they could have gone the other way. None of these games have been oh, really? Showtime. Wow. Wow. He's two-gating. Oh my, Showtime. The player who is known for a significant lack of cheese. I mean, this is the ultimate play. This is exactly what is least expected at this stage. So, and HeroMarine, for the first time, is going the other direction. Instead of a 2-gas, he's going 1 Rax expand on 1 gas. But he is expanding on the high ground. So that is the only saving grace here. And it's that's a large saving grace. That is a grace almost of comparable size as Gabe himself. So, without the expansion delayed, assuming the units don't just get in the base and kill him, that's incredibly helpful. That's incredibly important. And that is going to make it a lot easier to hold. Of course, he doesn't know. I don't know if he did this because he had his suspicions, but if he didn't, now, certainly, he knows. He cancels the reactor. He needs something. A Marine. Unfortunately, though, the Reaper got hit before it could heal to full, making it much more vulnerable. The SCV's boxing out on the ramp. The Zealot. Oh, that Reaper. The Reaper! You've got to keep the Reaper alive! Without it, oh my god, he needs that Reaper so badly. Just let it heal. Lose 5 SCVs, it doesn't matter. And meanwhile, the command center is building. It's finishing. He killed the Zealot. The Marine was very ready to jump in. Unfortunately, the Adept, well, he'll probably cancel, yeah. And that expansion on the high ground will save him. He would have had to cancel it. Or, yeah, 100%. Oh, no, no, no! He loses the mine, though. Well, that is incredibly unfortunate. Using the shades for high ground vision is difficult to maintain, but also, in this case, surprisingly effective. And if he actually loses the depot here, the Reaper's on the other side. There are no units to deal with it. He's going to have to pull probes. So both sides just poking at one another. Showtime did start it, just to be clear. That much is 100% the case. HeroMarine microing his repair. The Widow Mine. Well, another shade. It's where and he's in. He's broken through. The Reaper is on the way back. Is there enough to defend? Showtime has whittled through the depot in the most roundabout way with shade vision. The Widow Mine on the high ground. The Reaper, it has 2 kills. 1 probe has died. I believe that's just the first scouting probe. A little bit more than a scouting probe this game. Showtime already has his Nexus done. He was not all in. This was a designated, if heavy, pressure. HeroMarine not slowed down significantly either. Did lose 8 SCVs, but he did finish the command center. And he keeps the Reaper alive, which is something, and a big thing. That Reaper existing pins any number of units back at the base. And units are not cheap when you only have 2 gateways, 1 proxy. As well as just keeping tabs on anything on the map. There's no other way to get vision reliably right now for HeroMarine. Honestly, knowledge being power definitely applies here. What do we have? Observer. Showtime. despite his early shenanigans, now is focused on making sure HeroMarine can't pull off any of his own. Gonna jump in towards the main. And then jump out immediately, seeing the stock. Did he see the robo? No. Just doesn't want to commit. Blink is most of the way done. Observer pokes in, doesn't find much. That it doesn't expect to see at the very least. More rags. A barracks going on to a tech lab. At least implied. Blink. A tank will discourage any blinks for now. Reaper already watching for the third. Couldn't quite block it. Gets the probe. HeroMarine has... Oh. Well, that's... I mean... He's not actually going to shade through, but... Good to know that's not quite a wall. Storm. And at this point in Game 5, anyone's game. The worker counts are about even, effectively. Showtime is getting a third, but he's going to be very light on the upgrades and relatively light on the unit production, only going up to 6 gates. He's very reliant on getting Storm to land, at least for now. HeroMarine should be pretty far ahead in army supply momentarily as all his production kicks in. And then, as +1 is finishing, the whole triple threat, moving out and doing what he can to both break out of his own base and pressure Showtimes. This is a little awkward. The base isn't even done yet. Gonna get a probe. Shield battery. Helping out a lot. HeroMarine trying to keep... Yeah, Showtime not gonna fall for that. He's got an observer right there. There will be a toll incoming across the map. The question will be, how high? Loses a Marauder, but does some damage to Showtime's units. The gateway's gone, the pylon. A scan doesn't spot anything, but he knows something's coming. He's seen double gas at the natural. It's not just mass charge lot. The Warp Prism should reveal exactly what flavor of danger this is going to be. I think he... Ooh, loads up 2 medevacs. This is either a... This is a high-risk, high-reward situation, especially after the Raven is pinned in the main. Observer spots at Showtime. Not enough units to warp in and defend. Double medevac drop does force a strong response, but Showtime is very aware that this is the distraction. Down goes a pylon, powering the robotics facility. The Marines just chewing through. The Stalkers aren't able to do enough damage, not focusing fire. The medevac's healing, the tank's in front, and HeroMarine takes a strong position. As well he needs to. Oh my god, that is the most important Warp Prism of Showtime's career. That Warp Prism is everything that glides between him and defeat. The charge lot's warping in. Shield battery overcharge is online. Will be used. He wants to bring those units from the main. Templar. Good storm to start. Another couple. Just throwing them all out there. Gets an Archon merging. Charge lots onto the tanks. And just cleans them up. Drop in the main, though. He did pull everything back. There was even a scan there. Recall. Everyone clears out. Not going to be able to catch the medevac. Third command center lands for HeroMarine. The probe count not looking amazing for Showtime. He's been kind of boxed into this reliance on Storm. Ghost Academy's on the way. And until the Ghost Academy and Ghosts are out, well, he does have the ability to pick a fight. And probably win it. Oh, I don't know. It's still Marines. He gets the medevac, but maybe biting off a little more than he can chew. Yeah, these fights are just not going great. Showtime not taking wins, he's taking trades. Oh. Another double medevac drop. Another high risk, high reward. Because HeroMarine right now, he's trying to keep Showtime pinned to his base until he can build the counter to Storm Ghost. And then he can actually fight. Until then, any heads-up fight, especially if he commits his whole army, he's liable to just lose the game. If storms land just right, then it won't be enough. But at the same time, if he loses these medevacs, he may lose the fight to gateway units, which is also not great. There is no recall. We got another 30 seconds or so. The robotics facility. You didn't need that one, right? The army. No storms, but Widow Mines. Oh, wanders in. The Raven has a lot of energy. Widow Mines zone out. Is there an armory? No. Which means they'll fire once and Showtime's lucky, then be killed. Enhanced shockwaves on the way. Ghosts are on the field. A storm chasing. And not in the most passive way. Interference matrix on the prism means that Templar are locked inside. At least it can fly away. Caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Widow Mines dealt with. Yeah, still no armory. Halfway done. +1 attack. The upgrades are so light. Fourth command center for HeroMarine. Before a fourth Nexus from Showtime. He's struggling. The drop flying by... the observer sees, right? Yeah. It sees everything to the corner. Showtime. Well, the ghosts are on the field. Those zealots... I don't know about the ghost. 2 great feedbacks, and he still has energy. He's just going to lose the Templar. Trying to negate the potential damage from the Widow Mines. Losing that Robo really hurts. Did he ever rebuild it? You need not one. Not one. Let's not stop at 1. He wants a Robo Bay, and he just can't get it. He never rebuilt the Robo. He's barely had any money. Without the Robo Bay, he's fighting an army that can definitely beat him. The sheer girth of that bio army. HeroMarine closing in. It's up to Showtime. It's up to the wall to hold. And these are not the units you want to do it with. Not at this stage. He has to land the storms. HeroMarine smells blood in the water, but does he smell the sound of a Templar storm coming in? Oh, a huge chunk of units softened up, a bunch killed. And Showtime. HeroMarine got a little greedy. He had his entire army clumped up. And it's gonna cost him. Showtime found the one angle. Snipes coming through. Not enough. Are there even any EMPs here? Storms over the top. Widow Mines. There's no detection. The minefield cannot be cleared. He could maybe use storms, but what a waste. Oh no. The Widow Mines keep connecting. He can't even make observers. Oh, the lack of Robo is really hurting here. Showtime, he's even on supply, but HeroMarine has the unit composition. He's about to have 2-2 upgrades. There's no Robo Bay in production. There's not a second Robo either. I thought that scan was from Showtime for a second. Oh no! Oh no! The EMP on the Templar. Hit 3 of them. Force fields will isolate some of these units. You gotta be careful it doesn't work against you. 2-2 is about to finish. This is the best possible time for Showtime to fight. I mean, you might not know it, but the Widow Mines will stall things out. He has an observer now, at least. There's a couple Templar in the prism. Showtime has a 4th base, but mine drops. Both dragging attention and killing probes. The pre-MPs. There is a planetary. He's holding on to the Templar. He's holding on to the Templar. 1 Thorn lands. The planetary gets some of the Widow Mines. The planetary adding damage in. A lot of these units are so badly bruised, but it's just Stalkers. And just Stalkers are not going to cut it. A single medevac, but he's got to run. Oh, Showtime got pinned. And the Widow Mines continue to get hits. He just wasn't able to clear it. That Robo-Snipe may end up being the deciding moment in this entire series. It seemed kind of like, not an incredibly huge deal at the time. But, like, well, Showtime didn't rebuild it. Not until he saw half a dozen Widow Mines. And by the time you see half a dozen Widow Mines, that means there's like 30 more you don't. On the bright side, I guess, some of them are getting stuck here. He does get another hit off. Another attack. HeroMarine has armies all over the place. They have better upgrades, which means splash damage is pretty much required to deal with them. Even storms are not gonna... That's just Marauders. Like, even without the medevacs, they could weather a car. He just gets the Nexus? Why not? Another storm, HeroMarine. Oh, but he wins it. He just kills the Stalkers. He's going for the Archons. He didn't think that the Marauders would come out ahead, but 2 upgrade advantage for those Terran units. Like, this is what's happening right now. This is like the actual fight right now. Unfortunately, not the ideal one is HeroMarine. That lead just exploded. The worker count isn't there. The upgrades aren't there. The unit composition is not there, and HeroMarine is at the door, looking to slam it shut in Showtime's face. His countrymen. There can only be one, and Big Gabe will be that one. GGG. Showtime taps it out, and HeroMarine takes it home. And that means he's moving on. 3-2. I hope you enjoyed this Dreamhack Atlanta Regionals match. I hope you check out the next match of these highlights. We got a bunch of them from the Regionals before the main event, November 18th to 20th in Atlanta. Make sure to check it out and check out more videos. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Have fun. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Stay chill.